Hello and welcome back to this Python series, and in this lesson we're going to be talking about passing command line arguments to your Python script when you're running them from a command line. And to do this we're going to be using the built-in sys module to accomplish this task. So let's get started. First we're going to import the sys module into our program, and then I'm going to do sys.argv, and argv just simply means argument vector. And this just represents the list of command line arguments that the user typed in when they ran this program in the command line. And that will make more sense as I demonstrate later once I finish the if statement that will come next. And this if statement will just check if the command line arguments were passed. And this first line of the if statement will check if the user has passed at least one argument. And then we can assign a variable that we will print, because this program is going to take in the command line arguments and print it back to the user just to test if it's working. So we're going to assign that to a variable that will contain that string. So to input1 or whatever you want to call that variable, and then we'll type in a string, so add a space in between that, and then do .join, and then we can do sys.argv, and then here we will get everything from index 1 onwards. And now when I say onwards, that means infinite, so it doesn't matter how many command line arguments were passed, just as long as it can take in everything past index 1. So to make it infinite, we'll just leave that blank, and then we can close that off with another parentheses. So that's the reason why we don't have another number, because we don't want a maximum range. We want everything past index 1 and onwards. So then, like I mentioned, we're going to print that out back to the user. So we can do print, and then the variable name, and that was input1. So now we can run this program in our command line. Right? So let's bring up our terminal window. This is going to be our command line, and I've already changed to the directory that is containing my Python program, which is named command line arguments.py. So I'm going to run this program right now. So Python 3 command line arguments.py, and let's pass in a few command line arguments. Let's say hello, I am 29, and if we enter that, this last line, this output, hello I am 29, is represented by this print function over here, because we printed out whatever the user typed in for the command line argument. And that is why we set it to index 1 onwards, because if we were to do index 0, it would say command line arguments.py. It would take in the name of the script along with the rest of the arguments. And just as a visualization, I'm going to go demonstrate it right now, and then I will run the same command I ran earlier, and with that updated value, it includes this script name along with the rest of what we wanted to put down. So that's not what we want. That's the reason why we set it to index 1, so that it leaves out the script name and only checks from index 1 onwards. Now that's why we also conversely left the other one blank, because we wanted to take as much as possible. We don't want to limit ourselves to a certain range. And as a visualization tool, this might help out if I break it into a Python comment. So if I break this down, it would be something like this, where you would call the name of the script, which is command line arguments.py, and then it was, I believe it said hello I am 29, so it would be hello I am, and then 29. Since we are starting from index 1, it will start from hello and go all the way here. It doesn't matter how much you put in, it'll be infinite, because we didn't put in another number to have a maximum value. So if we had started from 0, that would start from here, which is index 0, because remember, indexes start at 0, not 1, and that would take in from index 0 all the way here, and that is the reason why we had this wrong output over here, which we only wanted hello I am 29 in that case. So that's just a nice visualization in case it might be confusing at first what I'm referring to when we want to be from index 1 or index 0, or if there's any other extra stuff that might be confusing. And that is just an example of taking in command line arguments, which you can see was quite successful, but you obviously would have to modify the code depending on what program you're trying to write. So this program is just simply one that will print out to the viewer, or to the user rather, whatever they typed in the first time. So that's it for this lesson, and hopefully you know now how to take in command line arguments for your Python program. Stay tuned for the next lesson.